Hi everyone, I'm Stan from Eagle Vision, here again with Peter Matali. Peter, welcome.
Okay, thanks Stan.
So we're talking about Greenfield developments, and today we wanted to cover acquisition. And I guess normally some of the larger developers, they acquire multiple hectares of land, big plots. How do smaller developers get into that game? And I guess there are some smart ways of doing that.
Yes.
So how do developers need to think about that?
Well, typically you've got your large developers are buying huge amounts of land.
Yep.
So these guys have obviously got a big pockets.
Yep.
They don't necessarily buy things and just do like a normal acquisition, settlement in 30 days, 60 days, that sort of thing, because it's a long-term acquisition. So, and it's different to your normal townhouses and apartments.
Yep.
We can be very short, quick turnover, you know, getting it planning and built and so forth. Land takes years.
Okay.
So if it hasn't been rezoned, it takes a long time to rezone. To develop this, they develop stage by stage. So everything's a lot longer process.
Yeah. What becomes an important consideration for developers when they're buying land for such long-term?
Yeah,
sort of exercises?
well, you've got to consider the terms,
Yeah.
the terms and conditions. So
Right.
some of the terms and conditions, settlement time. So
Okay.
if you're buying land off a farmer, for instance,
Yep.
some of the developers look at 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, even longer, some of them, before settlement. But along the way, they give the farmer deposits. Okay, so give them a certain percentage every year, for instance.
Yeah.
So that allows them to hang on to the land. They've got their land ready to sort of develop in years to come,
Yeah.
but they don't have to necessarily settle it, which obviously interrupts their feasibility and initial rate of return and that sort of thing. So there's different conditions you can use,
Yeah.
especially the long settlements is an advantage.
Fair enough. And what is the term called partial land release?
Yeah,
What is that
well
about?
that's another condition some of the developers use, especially the large parcels of land. So
Okay.
because they're developing a certain amount, like say for instance a developer buys 100 hectares,
Right.
an example, and he can't develop that, you're not going to develop that all straight away, so do stage by stage. So for instance, if he's able to give the farmer a percentage
Yep.
of the settlement terms, okay, say for instance 20% of the land, 20% of the purchase price, which allows them to start developing, so actually take possession of that part of land. So partial land of what they've acquired is actually released to the developer. They can develop that
Okay.
stage by stage.
And so with these partial land releases, what are some of the, I guess, intricacies of the contracts? What happens in there?
Well, for instance, if you just look at it as a feasibility point of view,
Yep.
you're buying a big parcel of land, you don't have to settle all of it.
Yep.
So obviously you haven't got the holding cost
Sure.
to take into account. So it's offset. So your initial rate of return
Yep.
is going to be offset because you don't have to settle the whole land. So, which means the partial land releases. So you're able to, the first stage, for instance, develop it, recoup some of the monies from the people that have purchased the blocks of lands, or the mums and dads, and that gets poured back into the stage two. So with a farmer and developer, it's sort of almost a win-win situation.
Yeah.
The farmer's getting a better price for the property, but in return, they're offering a better terms to the developer.
Yeah.
So there's a win-win situation.
And can the developer start to do some works on the project?
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is, because it's a terms contract, which allows certain conditions, one of them is that the developer can go on title. For instance, they've got more control of the property, and which allows them to do the subdivision side of things and that sort of.
Yeah. Around acquisitions, that's all we sort of wanted to cover. Thank you for watching. Next time around, we'll start talking about some of the actual works within the projects. Thank you again.